we need to talk about the absolute meltdown F1 driver Max Verstappen just had at the Spanish Grand Prix and how it could end up with him getting suspended from Formula One. Max's frustrations began on lap 52 when he was chasing Lando Norris for P2 after what was supposed to be both of their final pit stops. Max got caught up in traffic while Ollie Behrman and Liam Lawson were battling each other in front of him instead of letting him pass, which made Max lose time and caused him to give Behrman a frustrated gesture as he passed him. Ironically, this traffic actually benefited Max as it made Lando lose way more time than he did, but Max did not know that at the time, so it still angered him. The meltdown, however, truly began when the safety car came out and Red Bull had to choose between leaving Max out with track position on his used soft tires or pitting him for new hard tires, which were the only set that he had left. Both strategies here had their positives and negatives, but Red Bull ultimately decided to go with pitting Max for the new hards, which ended up being the call that undid Max's race and then his sanity. After being frustrated with Red Bull for putting him on the slower and less grippy hards at this crucial stage in the race without letting him know that that was what they were going to do because otherwise he would have objected, Max tried, yet failed, to hold off Charles Leclerc behind him at the restart after almost spinning out due to low grip, knocking him out of the podium positions to P4. Then, while trying to hold off George Russell, Max believed that he was forced off by George at turn 1 and took to the escape road, eventually rejoining the race still ahead of George. In order to avoid a potential penalty, Max's race engineer GP told him that he should give the place back to George, to which Max very vehemently objected before eventually going whatever fine and letting George by, but not before the crux of Max's Spanish Grand Prix meltdown, which was him intentionally ramming into George in shocking fashion while appearing to let George past him. After making this point, Max did eventually let George actually past him, but at that point the meltdown was melted down. Max initially doubled down on this move by responding, "I'll bring some tissues next time," when George complained about the move after the race, but Max did eventually release an apology where he admitted that the move was not right and should not have happened. So how could this meltdown of Max's result in him being suspended from Formula One? Max has now racked up 11 penalty points in the last 12 months, and if you rack up 12 points in 12 months, you are issued a one-race suspension like Kevin Magnussen got last season. This means if Max receives just a single penalty point in Canada or Austria, he will be banned for a race. Wild. Hilariously, because Driver of the Day voting had already closed, Max did still win Driver of the Day despite starting the race P3 and finishing at P10 while racking up 3 penalty points and intentionally running into George Russell. You gotta love it.